James, man,
I
thank you
can
so much. Uh, we're here at the question and answer period. It's kind of the after show, we like to call it. We've had some questions and we answered some of them during our little webcast there, but there's a couple more. Adam asks about Quantum SD12. Do you have a comment?
I don't. There isn't a Quantum SD12 now. I mean, SD12 is, I guess, the latest SD series. It's had a few upgrades that we've done. There are some more upgrades coming. They're more to do with features, software, that side of things. And I imagine they will be announced. We talked about this earlier, actually. When's the right time to do that?
Yeah, right.
I imagine those will be announced later on this year or beginning of next year, because they're more about adding features to an SD12 as it is now and making it do more to help people rent it for more.
Got it.
So that's where it is right now. I mean, Quantum 3, we have recently just launched, and Quantum 5. And it's interesting because of the situation that we're all in. Those products are actually, we got quite a few out. There were, maybe 30, 40 units actually out touring when everything stopped. So those have all been called back. But that product was probably 8 weeks old before lockdown, and it was going on some tours that one in particular that I'm gutted that it didn't happen this year, and I'm hoping it gets restarted next year. But it's still a very new product, and we don't want to do too much to change our portfolio right now, because we need stuff to move forward. It's like we're keeping going, but we want a pause so that guys can get back to where they were.
Yeah, the 338, man, is gorgeous. Gorgeous. I haven't had a chance to be in front of one really, but just seeing it at the NAMM show, I'm like, I own an SD7, but I'm kind of like, I'd love to own a 338 too.
It's a very, it's special. The screens are amazing. There are 72 small TFTs on the work surface. So, amazing. And we can, there's full metering on all of those as well. There's lots of hidden bits still to come on 338.
Yeah. Is there any
more mustard and spice coming too?
Oh, perfect.
Christian asked, does DiGiCo have any consoles in the lower price segments in the pipeline? But I kind of want to combine something that I wanted to get into was Allen and Heath a bit. How fantastic, in my point of view, that Allen and Heath has become over the past few years. So maybe we could talk a bit about his question and a bit about Allen and Heath.
Yeah, I mean, I think in some ways they're linked in that we have, each company has its own style and its own routes to market and obviously its own demand from its customer base, and we focus very heavily on that. So the secret isn't for us to try and steal everybody else's business. It's to make sure we're making the best products in the sector that the brand performs in. And right now, I think both DiGiCo and Allen and Heath are doing that. I mean, the SQ and Avantis, which are sort of and Q actually, Q, SQ and Avantis from Allen and Heath are very much in their core space, and D-Live is their flagship. That's their absolute Rolls Royce and is the biggest that they do, and beautifully now integrates with all the other bits. So if you buy an SQ, you can share the IO rack frames with D-Live and with Avantis, and they've learned some of what we in, if you like, high end touring were doing a while ago is now in the complete Allen and Heath range, and it's brilliant. I mean, what you can do with their product portfolio is amazing in that particular sector. Now, DiGiCo does go into the AV space a little bit. We do a little bit of award shows and that side of things, and that's where S21 is, and S31 and SD11 and SD9. And I think in that existing space, there will be stuff that happens. There'll be new features and new products that will expand those further. So I think each brand is doing what its specific brand's wish list is, driven from the customer base that uses it. So that means it's unlikely that DiGiCo will ever make a Q or an SQ. And part of that is there is a requirement for you have the right brand in the right space. And Allen Heath is renowned for reliability, audio quality, and really its features for the its features for the buck. What they do is amazing, and how well manufactured and engineered they are. It's a very different customer base, very different relationship to to the DiGiCo one, which is much more about, you know, the big tours, the engineers, the relationships, you know, you guys ringing up when you're in Hong Kong, Australia, Singapore. That's not your normal Allen and Heath. It is, they do have it, but it's not their normal. And that is where DiGiCo's space is absolutely, is that high-end concert touring, big musical productions, theater shows, convention centers, that space. And, you know, you can't be the master event. You can't buy a $20,000 Ferrari, can you?
No, you
No.
can't.
Because if you could, it wouldn't be a Ferrari.
I did a tour, a 56 input tour on an SD11 and a SD11i, and I got to tell you, I loved it. It was one of the favorite things I did, and I didn't need anybody to help me set it up. I took the lid off myself every day.
The desk every day must have been fun.
Yeah, it was. I did everything myself. But the thing is I didn't feel like I was missing anything from like the SD7. I mean, obviously there's faders and screens and all that stuff, but I mixed on this. I set up just like I did that, and I thought that was.
Well, because you
can do, made it so much fun for me.
You can do a lot of in-ear mixes on a small desk.
Yes.
And because of that, a lot of monitor engineers take them on promo stuff that they wouldn't, you know, historically have done. It goes with the backline, and bands love it because it sounds the bloody same.
Yep.
You know, so you're not fighting all the time. They put their in-ears in, and suddenly it's like, it's fine, it's cool, yes, go. And it makes that whole process of doing what is actually for a band and for us quite arduous. Going around doing all that promo work before stuff, it makes it actually a lot easier for everybody. And SD11's great for that. I mean, that desk has become, it's like a Swiss Army knife for DiGiCo. You know, rental companies buy it and stick it in the middle to be like the mixer that at a festival that mixes everything in, because it sits on the fiber loop and it can do everything there. It goes out on corporate stuff. It goes into promo, and it really has become, I'll have an SD11 because I can do this with it. And it does, because it does everything really. It's got all the features. It's just you just got to dig a little bit in. And if you know how to do
product
multi-channels, then you can do the whole lot on 12 faders. It's amazing.
I know, that's amazing.
Super VCAs.
One of the questions that I didn't get to ask was, you know, all of us have had someone in their life that kind of changed them or taught them or was a mentor or whatever. And you are so well-spoken and have just this handle on what's going on in this industry. Like, where did you learn that? Who was your mentor?
Whoa. Okay, it's never one person, right? Is it really?
Yep.
So I've had two good bosses in this industry. One was Todd Wells, who ran Soundtracs, who always said no. Right? The answer to any question you wanted was no.
No.
Right? Can I do this? No. Can I do that? No. Right? For customers as well. And then I had Bob Doyle. Right? And Bob Doyle was always yes. and then he'd worry about how the fuck we were going to do it, but it would be yes. So can you do this with your D5? Yes, of course you can. Go fix it. Right? So I had a yes guy and a no guy, and hopefully I fit somewhere in the middle where you say no when it has to be no, and yes when yes is the right answer. And I think my dad actually, you know, I mentioned it earlier. You know, I grew up in this industry. He taught me all the values of what our industry does and how good and bad it is and the people to watch out for and the way to behave. I can always remember him sitting me down when I was really young going, on the way up the ladder, make sure you look after every rung on the ladder, because in our industry, when you start dropping, you want every one of those to help you stop falling. And it's so true. We all have that in our careers. We all have moments where we go up and then something goes wrong and it all goes to shit. And the people that actually help you are the ones that you were nice to or you helped on the way up. And I think our industry is really simple. I mean, I don't know how people mess it up. You just have to listen. You have to be nice. You have to hang well. You know, don't do a number 2 on the bus. That's a good one. That's a good one to know. And if you say you're going to do it, do it.
Yeah.
Don't, you know, walk away from what you said you do. And it's great. I mean, I cannot imagine working in a more friendly, inclusive industry, actually. It's great. And I think those three probably, all individually, all characters, all taught me a different blend. And all you guys, you know, every time you hang out with engineers, you learn something. I mean, you guys still will be now. You know, there's stuff we think that's right, and then somebody else shows you they do it completely differently. and it bloody works. And you're like, how did I not know that? Because I never thought that was going to work.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of what we do, really. It's if you think you know it all, you might as well retire.
Man. Dude, I got to tell you, one of the coolest things about doing these things, like with Raybold and with Tater, is hearing little tidbits about workflow that, we both get good results, but we get there in a totally different direction,
The best bit's your facial expressions. That's brilliant. Because you'll be looking like going, really?
And literally, like, under the
like,
camera, I'm like writing it down. I'm like, wow, that's cool. I'm going to try that out. That's interesting. So anyway, man, that's awesome. Tater, you got anything else?
I'm good. Thanks so much, James.
All right, guys. Well, anything, if you guys need anything, you know where we are, right? Yeah.
My phone's already blowing up.
Yeah.
Thanks for doing all this stuff. It really, I think you have no idea what engineers get from it when they're stuck at home, miles from their friends. And it's good for us too.
Yeah.
It keeps us from going down
Very good.
you've kept me away from a vodka tonic for the last 2 hours.
Oh my God. I feel horrible about that. All right. Well, you go get it. And thanks for everything, and hope to see you in person real soon.
Oh yeah, mate.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Thanks, James.
We are well overdue a dinner, I think.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. All right, man.
Take care, guys.
See ya. Bye.
Thank you.